Every hidden location in GTA 5 explained. 8 bodies sit on the ocean floor off the north coast of San Andreas, wrapped in plastic, weighed down so they don't float. Rockstar never built a mission around them. They're just down there in the dark water, waiting for one player with a sub to swim past by accident. Most people finish the whole game and never learn they exist. Getting to them is a trip on its own. That stretch of ocean is off the top edge of the map, past the point where most players ever bother to swim. You need a sub to survive the depth, and even then you have to know roughly where to aim because the water is black and the saucer near them barely stands out. You could log 1,000 hours and never once point your ride that far north. The people who dumped them counted on exactly that. They belong to a man named Merle Abrahams. In the game he goes by another name, the Infinity Killer. He died in Bolingbroke Penitentiary while he was still waiting for his trial, so you never meet him, never fight him, never get a mission that says his name out loud. He just left a mess across Blaine County and let you find it. His thing was the number 8. Turn an 8 on its side and you get the infinity symbol, which is where the nickname comes from. According to the in-game paper, 8 young men vanished, all of them out jogging when they disappeared. No bodies were ever found back then, and Merle never confessed to a thing before he died. What he did admit to was a strange obsession with that one number. If you want to find his work, you go out to the Gran Senora Desert and look at the rocks. On a big set of pale rocks, someone scrawled a rhyme in white paint, with 8s drawn all around it. It counts the victims off, 1 through 8, and each line gets a little worse than the one before it. One line says the 4th victim called their mom. That single detail is what makes people uneasy, because it doesn't sound like a grown jogger. And it lines up with the other thing you find at his house. Go a little further out, and there's a second set of rocks with another message scratched into them. This one is stranger, almost proud of itself. It taunts whoever's reading, saying they can have him, but they'll never get to his people, and that he left enough of a sign to point at where he put them. He's talking to you. The game has a dead serial killer speaking straight at the one player who bothered to come out to the desert and read the rocks. His place is a wrecked little home out in sandy shores. Walk inside and there's more 8 graffiti on the walls. Look up. There's a pair of child-sized shoes hanging from the rafters. Nobody explains them. The paper says his victims were young men. The shoes say something else. Rockstar leaves that gap open on purpose and lets your own head fill it in. There's even a message from him waiting inside the prison walls at Bolingbroke, left behind like a signature. Here's the part that gets people. There is no reward for any of this. No cash, no gun, no achievement, no unlock. You piece together a serial killer's whole story. You find his riddle. You find his house. You go 400 feet down to find the bodies he dumped. And the game gives you nothing but the feeling of knowing. That's the trick. It's a murder case sitting in the corner of the map that most of Los Santos will never notice. And it's not the only ghost story in the desert. GTA 5's secrets took years to crack. I already mapped Vice City's launch day for you. It's a free day 1 playbook. Speaking of ghosts, head northeast to Mount Gordo. It's the smallest of the 3 peaks in the game, easy to skip. But between 11 at night and midnight, and only in that 1 hour, something waits up there. Near the top there's a flat rock. On that rock, written in blood, is a single word, Jock. Stand there in that hour and a woman appears above it. White dress, long dark hair, floating just off the ground. Her mouth is frozen open like she got stuck mid-scream. She doesn't chase you. She doesn't say anything to your face. She just hangs there and stares straight ahead. Now try to walk up to her. She's gone. Get too close, and she vanishes like she was never there. So players figured she was just a jump scare with no substance. Then somebody pulled out a sniper rifle. Look at her through the scope, from any distance, and she's still there. Same with your phone camera. Zoom in through glass and the game lets you keep her. Walk up on foot, and she disappears. That's a specific choice by the people who built her, and it makes her feel like a real thing you're not allowed to touch. Go down to the campsite at the bottom of the mountain and it gets worse. From down there you can hear her, a scream in the dark, the sound of a woman in her last few seconds. And here's the odd part. The ghost isn't a real character model at all. She's a flat image, a 2D texture the game paints onto the mountain at the right hour and wipes away when you get near. There's no body up there to bump into, so when the game holds her steady in a sniper scope but deletes her the second you step close on foot, it's guarding an illusion, a picture pretending to be a person. Somehow knowing that makes standing on that peak at midnight feel worse, not better. She has a name and a case file, Jolene Cranley Evans. Back in the 1970s, she was married to a man named Jock Cranley. He wanted out of Blaine County. His dream was to move to the city and become a stuntman. She wanted to stay, look after her folks, and keep running the guest house they owned. They were up on that cliff arguing and he pushed her off. She died from the fall. The police looked into it, decided it was an accident and let him walk. No charge. Case closed. Here's where it stops being a side story and reaches into the main game. If you played the campaign, you already know Jock Cranley. He's the guy running for governor. His face is on billboards all over the map, smiling, asking for your vote. The husband who threw his wife off a cliff didn't just get away with it. He turned into a politician with a campaign and a slogan, and it goes one step further. During one of Trevor's jobs, Trevor is out digging through trash and a couple of people scavenging nearby mistake him for Jock Cranley himself. The murderer got rich, got famous, and got mistaken for one of your own guys. Meanwhile, his wife is still up on that rock every single night, screaming into a valley nobody visits. So that's 2 dead women and men on the ground. Now look up, because GTA 5 has UFOs, and they are real, and there are 4 of them. The first one you can find right away, no strings. Off the very north coast of the map near North Point, there's a crashed flying saucer resting on the seafloor. It sits around 400 feet down, in the same cold water as those wrapped bodies. Grab a sub or some scuba gear and go look. It's huge. It's covered in seaweed and junk, like it went down a long time ago. You can't get inside it. You just float there, next to a spaceship at the bottom of the ocean, and try to work out what you're looking at. This one needs nothing from you. It's there from the start. The other 3 make you earn it. To see them, you have to hit 100% completion. That means every mission, every stunt jump, every random event, every hobby, the whole checklist. It's a serious grind. Do it, and the sky opens up. One of them hangs over Fort Zancudo. That's the military base, the spot where trespassing gets you a 5-star wanted level, and a squad of soldiers trying to end your day. Climb high enough over it in a jet, and there's a black saucer up near the ceiling of the map, ringed with strange orange lights. It looks nothing like the others. Getting near it is a fight, because you're already dodging rockets from the base below. Another one floats above a spot near Sandy Shores called Beam Me Up. It's an art piece out by the old hippie camp, the kind of place that was always waiting for a spaceship. And one showed up. This saucer has 3 letters stamped on the side. FIB. That's the game's version of the FBI. So the aliens, if that's what they are wearing a government badge. Fly a chopper close to it, and the game turns on you. Your screen warps. A beam of light opens up underneath the craft. Beeping fills your ears. Then your engine cuts out and you drop. People have spent hours trying to land inside that beam. Nobody has gotten in. Then there's the last one. The big one. It sits over the peak of Mount Chiliad, and it's the hardest to see in the entire game. You need 100% completion, sure, but you also need it to be 3 in the morning. And it has to be storming. And you have to be standing on one exact viewing platform at the top. Line all of that up and the saucer appears above you, wearing the same FIB logo. Step off the platform and it blinks out. Walk back on and it returns. It's picky in a way that makes it feel almost alive. And like all the others, you can't touch it, can't enter it, can't do a thing but stand in the rain and stare. The UFOs aren't the only thing that grind unlocks. Somewhere in all that 100% work, the game hides Bigfoot. There's a mission called The Last One that only opens up after you've finished everything else. Franklin runs into a hunter out in Rayton Canyon who swears there's a Sasquatch in the trees, and the 2 of you go after it. You track the thing down, corner it, and it turns out to be a guy in a costume falling apart at the seams. Feels like a joke at your expense. But finish that mission, then go find a golden peyote plant up in the Chiliad wilderness and eat it. You turn into Bigfoot. You get to run around Blaine County as the exact creature the game just swore wasn't real. That's the payoff for poking at corners nobody else checks. The official reward for 100%, by the way, is an achievement and a shirt. The UFOs and the Sasquatch are the real prize, which brings us to the mountain itself, and the biggest secret in the game. Mount Chiliad is the tallest peak in San Andreas. Take the cable car up, and near the top, tucked into the station, there's a painting on the wall. This one painting broke the GTA community for 12 straight years. It shows a cutaway of a mountain, drawn like a map from the side. Inside it there are symbols, a cracked egg, a man with a jetpack, a flying saucer, an eye at the very summit, the kind of all-seeing eye you find on the back of a dollar bill, lightning bolts scattered around the edges, and 5 small X marks in different spots. Then, carved onto a platform a short walk away, 7 words. Come back when your story is complete. Players went feral over it. A jetpack lived in the last GTA game set in this same state, so half the community was sure Rockstar had hidden a working jetpack somewhere inside the mountain. Others swore there was a secret room behind the rock, sealed until you cracked the code. The all-seeing eye and the pyramids kicked off a whole wave of Illuminati theories. People took the mural, overlaid it on the real mountain from the air, and used the shapes to hunt down 5 hidden carvings in the stone, the glyphs those 5 X's pointed to. They cross-checked the glyphs. They sat on the peak at 3 a.m. during storms for years, waiting for something bigger to trigger. Some tied it to a cracked fountain by the Mazebank Tower, saying that fountain was the egg. Some pointed at a jetpack that finally showed up years later in an online heist and said, "See, that was the payoff all along." Rockstar said nothing. For over a decade, nothing. The mystery just sat there, feeding theory after theory, and no answer ever came. Then in 2025, a player named Gator Keys laid the whole thing out, and the answer was almost insulting in how small it was. The mural was never a treasure map. It was an instruction sheet. The egg is you, the player, starting at the bottom and moving up. The jetpack means one thing: get high, fly up. The saucer and the eye mean go find the UFOs, the ones that only show up at 100%. The eye at the summit is the Chiliad saucer itself, watching from the top. The lightning is the storm you need for it to appear. And the 5 X's are just the 5 glyphs that walk you through the steps. Come back when your story is complete never meant beat the campaign. It meant hit 100%, then look up. That's the whole thing. 12 years of digging, and the mountain was pointing at the UFOs the entire time. There was no jetpack tucked in the rock, no secret room, no hidden ending waiting behind the eye. The greatest mystery in Grand Theft Auto was a set of directions to a spaceship you can't even climb into. One person who used to work at Rockstar later shrugged and said some of these eggs get dropped in just to mess with players, with no real answer at the bottom. So the biggest secret, on the biggest mountain, in the biggest game of its time, was a door painted on a wall. People spent 12 years trying to open it. There was never anything on the other side. Free Vice City playbooks waiting at launchgameguides.com/watchlist.